This is The Scoop for Thursday.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Marzilli with the WMNF News headlines. A new survey of higher education faculty members in 4 states, including Florida, found concerns about the climate of higher ed in Florida. According to United Faculty of Florida, faculty leaving those states are unwilling to come here because of the harm done by the policies of Governor DeSantis and his supporters. UFF President Andrew Gothard spoke about the survey on WMNF's Tuesday Cafe.
And I got to tell you, the results are horrific. I mean, they show exactly what we have been consistently warning the governor, the members of the Florida Board of Governors, the State Board of Education, the legislature. We've been telling them over and over again, if you start to strip away tenure protections, high-quality faculty who could go into the private sector and make double what they make as professors will leave. They will go to private labs, and they will take billions of dollars in research funding with them. And I mean, if we just look at the numbers, out of the 642 who responded, almost 300 said that they plan to seek employment in another state within the next year. Within the next year, almost half. Close to 550 said they would not encourage a graduate student or faculty colleague in another state to seek employment in Florida. Over 200 said they were not even going to stay in academia long term because of the changes to tenure and contracts and restrictions on academic freedom. And get this, out of the 642, over 600 said that the political atmosphere around higher education in Florida was either bad or very bad. So what this shows is that we have a failure of leadership in our elected leaders in Florida, and we have got to right the ship before our higher education system goes under.
That's the president of United Faculty of Florida, Andrew Gothard, speaking on WMNF's Tuesday Cafe. You can watch the full interview on our website, wmnf.org/news. New CDC data shows Florida counties leading the nation in COVID hospitalizations. Data shows 43 of Florida's 67 counties have reported increased levels of COVID hospital admissions per week, the most per capita in the U.S. Meanwhile, Governor Ron DeSantis has declared that Florida will not be issuing any protective measures such as mask mandates, blasting them as unscientific. This is DeSantis speaking at a recent Jacksonville press conference.
The efficacy is probably negative. Joe can talk a little bit about that. They are not following the science. They are trying to follow a narrative. They are trying to follow an agenda. I can tell you here in Florida, we did not and we will not allow the dystopian visions of paranoid hypochondriacs control our health policies, let alone our state.
Yesterday, DeSantis' hand-picked Surgeon General, Dr. Joseph Ladapo, advised healthy adults under the age of 65 not to get the new COVID-19 booster, directly contradicting CDC recommendations. Ladapo, a well-known vaccine skeptic, said that after 3 years of COVID, most healthy people don't need to worry about getting infected from a virus that has killed more than 1 million people across the country and over 87,000 right here in Florida. A nonprofit is warning that billions of dollars in federal child care funds will expire at the end of the month. WMNF's Colleen Cole reports a new bill was introduced in Congress that could restore that funding.
According to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, more than 3 million children will lose access to supervised care. Jamie Bussell is the foundation's senior program officer.
Policymakers must also do more to ensure that child care is available to all families that need it. That child care providers are valued and treated fairly, and that means that they are compensated fairly and they are supported.
This is a national issue as well as a problem in Florida.
Over 200,000 kids in the state of Florida are actually expected to lose their child care. Over 2,000 child care programs are projected to close. And Florida parents will lose over $600 million in earnings as a result of being forced to cut work hours or to leave the workforce entirely.
The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation says states like Florida could choose to expand access to childcare, or it could happen at the federal level. A new bill called the Child Care Stabilization Act would provide funds for care so that parents can remain in the workforce. For WMNF News, I'm Colleen Cole in Tampa.
The oil spill at Port Manatee, which contaminated more than 19,000 gallons of water near the mouth of Tampa Bay, has led to a shakeup in Port Authority leadership. 10 Tampa Bay is reporting that tensions boiled over as commissioners discussed the spill and concerns about how it had been handled. In a surprise move, commissioners voted to remove Commissioner George Cruz as chairman of the Port Authority after they blamed him for not reacting or communicating fast enough once the spill was known. The board then elected Commissioner James Satcher to replace Cruz. The spill was discovered on August 31st, and according to the Coast Guard, cleanup is 99% complete after guardsmen removed over 20,000 gallons of oil-water mixture. The source of the spill has not yet been identified. However, Coast Guard officials say 2 foreign-free vessels that were in the area at the time are potential sources. In weather, it's going to be partly sunny with a high of 92 today and a 30% chance for an afternoon shower. Those rain chances increase to 60% on Friday with a daytime high of 90. I'm Lisa Marzilli with the WMNF News headlines.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.